much about history, don't know much biology, don't know much about a science book, don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Don't know much about geography, don't know much trigonometry, don't know much about algebra, don't know what a slide rule is for, but I do know 1 and 1 is 2. And if this one could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. Now I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be. But maybe by being an A student, baby, I can win your love for me. Don't know much about history, don't know much biology, don't know much about a science book, don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Yeah, but I know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this will be.
Hey, how you doing? Justin back with you today to check out What a Wonderful World by Sam Cooke. Beautiful song, great one for working on your open chord changes and your old faithful strumming pattern. Relatively simple this one, so let's get to a close-up. Check it out. Let's start with a look at the chords first of all. First chord is a G. I like to use this one with the 3rd and 4th fingers because I kind of feel like the change to E minor is the easiest with those fingers, but if you want to use any of the other Gs, doesn't really matter. Use the one that's most comfortable for you. So we start with a bar of G, then it goes to an E minor. E minor, you could use whatever fingers again you want, doesn't really matter. I think fingers 2 and 3 seem to make sense, particularly with that G chord there. So the intro is literally 1 bar of G, and then 1 bar of E minor, and then the verse starts. So we got G, don't know much about E minor, then to C, don't know much about D chord, and again the same sequence, don't know much about E minor, then to C, don't know much about the D I took, then we're into the chorus, G, and I do know that C loves you, G, and I know that if you C chord me too, what a D chord world it would G. So that's the main sequence there, the verse, the chorus. That's repeated around quite a lot in this song. The only other section is the bridge, but let's run through that little sequence once again, through including the intro. 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, then into the verse. So G, don't know much about E minor, to C, don't know much about D chord, back to G, don't know much about an E minor book, then C, don't know much about the D chord I took, chorus G, but I do know that C loves you, back to G, and I know that if you C chord too, what a D chord world this would G, 2, 3, 4. I always recommend trying to memorize the chord progressions to songs if you can, and it's always helpful to look for patterns. So like this song is G, E minor, C, D, and it does that twice. Then it's just got this G, C, G, C, D, G pattern. So it's like a little odd 6-bar thing going on at the end. So a group of 4 times 2. A 4-bar sequence that's repeated, and then this additional 6 bars, G, C, G, C, D, G. So when we get to the bridge, we start with a D, so D don't claim to G chord student, D, and I'm trying to G, then it's an A, maybe by being a G chord student. A, I can win your D for me. Okay, so again, D chord, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4, D, and 3, 4 to G. Then A, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, back to the verse. The song form goes verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, instrumental verse, chorus, finish. Very, very simple form to remember. For the instrumental section, there are a few approaches you might find fun to explore. The first one is to improvise a vocal. So just use some oohs, lahs, or tahs, or hms, like he does on the original recording, and just see if you can make something up. The second approach would be to use chord embellishments, like I did in the intro there. If you want to get into that, you might want to go and check out my Chord Shape Explorer series, which is part of grade 3. Or if you've got a jam buddy, they could improvise something in that particular solo. Now, I'm using the capo here at the 2nd fret, should have probably mentioned this earlier. To play along with the original recording, the capo needs to go on the 4th fret, but I found that vocally a bit challenging, so I moved the vocal down, the capo down 2 frets to fit my voice. Now, the key for an improvised solo would be the key of the 1st chord. So I'm playing a G shape, but it's really an A note because the capo's on the 2nd fret. So in this key, you'd want to be improvising using the A major scale or the A major pentatonic. If you're playing along with the original recording, that was 2 frets higher, so that would be a B major scale or a B major pentatonic. The original recording features some electric guitar playing single note arpeggios, so do this kind of... And that works great if you're playing in a band, something you might like to explore if you're at that level. But for most beginners, it's going to be a little bit challenging and it doesn't sound so great just on its own. So I'd recommend that you go for a strumming pattern. It's a good song to experiment with different strumming patterns if you're at that point, but Old Faithful works great, just literally having you down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Now, sometimes I'm adding that last up as well. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Doesn't really matter. You can add that last little upstroke on the and after 4 or not. It's completely up to you. Just remember to keep your hand moving consistently. So it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. You can see my hand is just moving exactly the same. It doesn't stop. That's the key thing. When you're learning guitar and you're learning to strum, you want to keep that hand moving nice and consistently. So you wouldn't really know just by looking if I was going down, down, up, down, or if I was just doing all downs. Right? Wouldn't really matter if I was going down, up, down, down. The hand motions are exactly the same, which is why it's such a nice kind of tune to muck around with different strumming patterns. If you're struggling with down, down, up, down, like putting that little tie in, you could just as well go 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wouldn't matter. I really hope you enjoy learning this song. Remember, if you're a beginner guitar player, do go and check out my Lessons and Songs app. It's got all my beginner lessons in it and hundreds of guitar karaoke songs. The chords pop on the screen with the lyrics and all of that sort of stuff. Shows you suggested strumming patterns, got a tuner, loads and loads of good stuff. Do go and check it out. I'll see you for plenty more very soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.